Hello there, it is Saturday on the 7 College Nerds. So this week, probably partially in hopes to fill the horrible void drawn by the fact that none of us are at VidCon, we are talking about our obsessions this week, things that make us happy. I, of course, threatened to the other girls that I was going to make an entire video dedicated to staircases, and I intend to carry out that threat. Now, stairs can be divided into two categories, ceremonial and egress. Egress staircases are kind of like the fire escapes you think of when you think of New York City. They're the staircases that really purely serve a practical purpose. They're not really there for any sort of beauty purposes. They just exist to perform a function. And of course, building codes dictate that certain buildings have to have a certain amount of stairs in certain places, and they have to be built a certain way, etc. Now, ceremonial stairs are the pretty ones, you know, the fancy schmancy decorated ones. Now, what kind of staircase do you have in your house? Really, in a lot of houses, you have to have that staircase going up to second level, so it's an egress stair. But in the same way, a lot of people do like to make them somewhat decorative. So I guess in households, the staircase, because most people only have one, the staircase really has both purposes. It serves both purposes, but there are lots of other buildings, particularly large, like government buildings or large projects like theaters and things like that, where you have to have multiple staircases. Another thing you might notice is that staircases often have landings, specifically staircases that are just straight ones without any curves or anything. This is partially due to safety. For instance, if you are on a staircase that just goes like this and there's no stop, there's no landing on it. I can't believe I forgot the word landing. There's no landing on it. If you fall up here, you're going to tumble all the way down, and it's a safety concern. So they put landings so that you can only fall so far before you stop. So that's really one of the major purposes of landings. And other people also notice, particularly people who like staircases and think they're pretty and stuff. You see lots and lots of pictures of spiral staircases, and people are like, oh, they're so cool, I want these in my house, blah, 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 blah. But you don't really see them in houses very often. There's actually a reason for that. While spiral staircases are really pretty and they're really cool, there are some problems with them. They are almost always ceremonial because they are always ceremonial. Because there tends to be a few problems with them, and mostly it lies in the fact that it is very difficult to transport things up and down a spiral staircase, especially the really tightly woven ones. For instance, you cannot, say you move into a house and it's 2 floors and you have a spiral staircase. Well, how are you going to get your furniture up to the 2nd floor? Because you really can't carry it up a spiral staircase. So they have to be built in certain ways. You have to use lifts and pulleys a lot of times to get large things up to whatever floors. So it's just difficult to maneuver large things in spiral staircases. So that's why you really don't see them very often. I'm sorry if I bored you with all of that. I really find this stuff interesting, and that's because I like stairs and I think they're pretty and they're cool, and it's kind of my major, so I like this stuff. But sorry if I bored you. I hope you found some of it interesting. Anyway, busy. We'll see you tomorrow. DFBTA.